Folks, we are live on the Jets Roundtable. I'm joined by the great Matt O'Leary and the great Jake Asman. We got a jam-packed show today because the Jets are on their bye, but there's a lot of news around the New York Jets world regarding trades. The Jets made a big trade yesterday, shipping off Michael Carter II, getting back a wide receiver, John Mechie III. Could there be more trades coming up? And this is the first show of the season that we could talk about a win. How about that? It took until week 8, but hey, a win is a win. So let's get into business. Welcome back, Matt. Welcome back, Jake. Good to have you guys on the show. Matt, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm still riding the high of the victory. Sunday has now made its way all the way to Thursday. And with no game this week, I feel like we just continue to ride the wave.
We can soak in the win for 2 weeks straight, because we know if the Jets are playing this weekend, they'll probably ruin it, but they're not. So luckily the bye came at a perfect time. Jake, how you feeling, my friend?
Feeling way better than I think we all would be if this team was winless at the bye and it was 2 straight weeks of one and done talk. And this guy stinks, trade everyone, they're going to go winless. So it's only one win, but it's amazing just what one win does for the entire psyche of the fan base.
For real. I mean, we did not do a show last week, and I think that was maybe part of the reason why they won. Who knows? But all jokes aside, really exciting that the bye week came at this time. And I mean, let's keep it a buck here. We are not where we want to be as the New York Jets are 1-7. It's not like we won our 4th game and we have a competition now to maybe make a run for the wild card. The Jets have dug themselves into a gigantic hole, but that win last Sunday was definitely something. And I want to start off with that. Matt, I mean, your biggest takeaways from the New York Jets getting their first victory of the season, there's so much. I mean, was there any point in that game where you felt like the game was over and then all of a sudden you look up and the Jets are actually mounting a comeback? What was your overall thoughts while you're watching that 4th quarter unfold?
Yeah, it started out frustrating, and especially with how the defense was playing in that game. And that's still clearly an issue for this team. But when I thought the game really started to turn was after the Breece Hall touchdown, where Aaron Glenn decides to go for 2, down 8, and make it a 6-point game. And then they get a stop and go right down the field and score and take the lead. I thought that was a really bold decision. That's a very analytical way of playing. That's kind of the new age style. And I think at times Aaron Glenn's been a little bit too conservative this year. And that to me showed signs of growth. And that doesn't completely erase the 7 games previous, but to me, I'm not in the tank mode in October. I want to see what this coaching staff and this roster is made of. So I'm looking for anything to show signs of growth. So I think that was a good first step, at least for me, against the Bengals.
You can't go 10-7 without starting 1-7, Matt. Come on now. Let's feed the delusion. Oh, no, all jokes aside, man. What you said there was very important, and I definitely want to stretch on that, because the biggest thing I saw in this game, and one of the biggest things I kept getting so frustrated about Aaron Glenn, was his conservative nature. And it felt like he was coaching scared and coaching not to lose. And you saw a shift in this game, being aggressive, going for it on 4th downs, even though it wasn't successful. But that 2-point conversion, I really hope that is the version of this Jets team that Aaron Glenn is trying to create, is being more aggressive. And he had an interesting comment where he said after the game, you have to learn how not to lose before you can, learn how to win. We shall see if that spirals into something. We don't know. But I'd rather have an aggressive-minded coach than being conservative. And that was a shift that I noticed as well, Matt. So good point there. Jake, your thoughts, man. The Jets came back and scored 23 points in the 4th quarter. Justin Fields gets called out by the owner. He has the game of his life. What was going through your mind when the Jets came back? And I know you had a watch party with your Asmaniac crew. So what was the energy like over there?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, there definitely were some people who already left, which you can't blame them given, how it was looking. I mean, they're down 10-0 in this game, 17-3. So even, as they were fighting back, it's like, are they really going to win? Like, even when they scored the touchdown, Breece to Mason Taylor, I know I was among a lot of Jet fans watching this being like, there's too much time left. Like, the defense is not going to get a stop. They'll lose on a last-second field goal. So the fact that they won, they got it done. That was awesome. To win on the day we lost the great Nick Mangold was just awesome to see, given just how down in the dumps and everything that we all went through in the morning, and I'm sure his teammates and family and everyone who's affected by that. So it was an awesome win. We'll see if it actually translates to this team being better in the second half of the year. I have some real doubts about that, but for at least, the next week or so here, we can at least entertain the idea of this team maybe turning the corner and some positives to certainly focus on.
Yeah, and it's great what you can do with when you actually win a game. You can actually look at the positives in the game and be happy about it, because when we lose, there's maybe some things to be happy about, but you lost the game. So there's not really anything to be super, super excited about. But before we get deeper into the game, I did want to touch on something. We did lose a member of the family, a Nick Mangold, Sunday, and that was just absolutely devastating. And I wanted to give Matt O'Leary the floor here, because Matt is doing something fantastic for the community. And Matt, I wanted to give you your opportunity to just let the people know exactly what you are doing. You are giving to the Kidney Foundation. I'm going to pull it up here. So Matt, what a tremendous effort that you're doing. You're raising so much for this. So why don't the floor is yours, Matt, because this is awesome.
Thank you guys. And thank you both for supporting it over the past week. I'm really blown away with support that Jet fans have given on this. So, unfortunately with the news on Sunday, I just felt like I wanted to do something to give back to, the community and hopefully help this, disease that took Nick Mangold. So I'm selling merch on my website, mattolearyny.com. It says 74 Forever a Jet on it. We got shirts, hats, sweatshirts, long sleeves, the whole thing. And Jet fans, we're just over $5,400 raised in not even a week yet. So it's really been truly impressive. So mattolearyny.com, pick up a shirt. They'll be shipped out usually within a week. They arrive. So in just a few days, you'll be able to get it. And I want to thank everyone who's supported so far.
Yeah, great way to support our man, the legend, Nick Mangold. Will be missed forever. Just a complete heart stabbed. When I saw that news, it was right before I started my live stream for the game. And it was just like, I had to collect myself. I was like, this is something that hits all of us hard. Not only just the type of player he was for the Jets, but it was deeper than that. His overall nature as a human being, his activity with the Jets after he retired, being just embodying what it meant to be a New York Jet. And he's a one-on-one type of human being, dominating, of course, on the field. But he meant so much to this community as Jets fans, and there's not a lot of Jets legends like him. So, thoughts and prayers goes out to his family, his friends, and everybody that knew him personally, because that was just a devastating, devastating loss. And what a way to honor Nick Mangold by getting a win. All right. So when it comes back to this game, I feel like a big narrative is the Justin Fields situation. And I have to get your thoughts, Matt, real quick, because Justin Fields said that he is not listening to the outside noise, which is our own owner. Can you imagine that our owner of this football team, Woody, is creating outside noise? So what was your thoughts of Justin saying that and then bouncing back and having the game of his life as a New York Jet and getting the W?
Yeah, I'm really happy for Justin Fields. I tweeted it before the game that I hope that he went off and, stuck it to Woody a little bit. And I think he did. And, unfortunately, that's not anything new with Woody Johnson. And there were quotes even later in the week from Jordan Travis on some things that Woody Johnson said to him while he was in his recovery process off a knee injury. And look, I just wish Woody Johnson wouldn't just shoot his mouth off and sound like a drunk fan in the parking lot every time he's in front of a camera. But this is kind of the spot that we're in. And good on Justin Fields for bouncing back and playing the way that he did. And, I have a lot of respect for him with his post-game comments too, talking about how it was a tough week for him, but, being open and speaking about his mental health leading up to this game on Sunday. Good on him.
Yeah, and the Justin Fields experience is we're experiencing it all right. You talk about a quarterback that is just very inconsistent, looking great one week, brutal the next few weeks in a row, then has another great game. Obviously nobody is putting Justin Fields in the conversation to be the guy moving forward, but it's a good sign to see him completely bounce back. Jake, your thoughts about the whole Justin Fields situation with all the adversity he had to deal with, getting benched a week prior, which I think was the right move, by the way. But then Tyrod's knee acts up. He gets to start, even though everybody thought it was supposed to be Tyrod. And then he goes out there, has the game like that. Your thoughts about everything you saw from Fields?
Yeah, good for Fields. I don't think this means he's now the franchise quarterback or anything like that. But just from a human being standpoint, what he had to go through was total BS from the owner. Like, no matter how you feel about Fields, those comments were so wildly inappropriate for a billionaire owner to say about the quarterback that his handpicked coach and GM guaranteed $30 million to. So I was really happy that he went out there in the real face of adversity and he played well and they got a win. So that was awesome to see. And the way he handled it afterwards, how open he was about everything he went through, was really cool as well. So awesome to see him play well. Awesome to see the Jets win. Great to see Aaron Glenn get that moment in the locker room with the team after. So the vibes are high for at least a week, and now they got to build on it to get fans who are still rightfully skeptical at 1-7 to believe again.
Yeah, definitely a good sign. Now, when it comes to the backup quarterback, we had some news come out yesterday that the Jets are trying out Desmond Ridder and Dorian Thompson, and I think that really shows you that the injury that Tyrod Taylor has is a little bit more serious than we initially thought. That's at least what I'm taking away from it. Matt, is that what you're thinking as well? That Tyrod may be shut down because it seems like the Jets are looking for a new backup.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. When you look at the situation, I think for the Jets to be working out a couple veterans, it makes me believe that the injury is worse than what we think. And not that Desmond Ridder or Dorian Thompson-Robinson are really world beaters by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that kind of just goes to show that they don't really think Brady Cook's a legitimate option right now. And if anything were to happen to Justin Fields, that they would want some veteran in place to, kind of just hold it down for a little bit. Between those two guys, I think I'd prefer Desmond Ridder. He has more starting experience and his numbers are just, flat out better than Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And, I think it gives a higher floor. I think you could argue maybe the ceiling's a little bit higher with DTR, but floor's pretty low. And for a backup quarterback, I think you just want the highest ceiling you can get, or the highest floor rather that you can get.
Yeah, Jake, would you agree? You think this is a sign that Tyrod, we're going to get some news that he could be out? Or what do you have to say about the Jets trying out those quarterbacks?
To me, I think Matt nailed it. It probably is not the best of signs for Tyrod, or maybe it's precautionary in case he's still not right when they get back from the bye. I mean, think about it. He was so banged up, he didn't travel with the team to the games. It's not like, he wasn't healthy enough to start, but could come in an emergency basis. They rather have Brady Cook, an undrafted rookie free agent, be the line of defense if Fields had went down. So hopefully Tyrod's okay, but I think Matt broke it down perfectly there.
So there's some other things that happened in that game that are storylines, and it connects to the trade the New York Jets just made yesterday. The player who got the game-winning play in the fourth quarter to get the 4th and 9 stop was Jarvis Brownlee Jr., the new player that the Jets traded for, and he stole Michael Carter II's job. And MC2 was regulated to the bench. We saw him on the field in certain packages, but he's no longer the starting slot nickel. The Jets decided to trade him away to the Philadelphia Eagles for John Mechie III. The Jets also move up from the 7th round to the 6th round in the 2027 NFL draft. I personally think it's a good trade because I would rather the Jets get a player in return than just a draft pick, because this is an opportunity for guys to try out to see what they can do on this football team. The trade that Muji made for Briggs, I think, was solid. Harrison Phillips was solid. Brownlee looks like a really good trade. And now we're getting John Mechie III, someone that's trying to find his footing in the NFL. Jake, were you with Houston radio when the Texans drafted him? Because I know the story with him is pretty heartbreaking, getting drafted by Houston in the 2nd round. He has to sit out his entire rookie season because he was diagnosed with leukemia, I believe. And then he goes out there in year 2, year 3, unproductive, gets traded to Philadelphia in August, doesn't really get an opportunity. And it seems like the Jets are going to give him the opportunity, because we can all agree the Jets do not have a good wide receiver next to Garrett Wilson, even though you got to give credit real quick to Tyler Johnson and those boys for stepping up on Sunday. But Jake, what do you know about John Mechie? You were with Houston at that point when they drafted him?
I was. Yeah, I never really got to cover him because you mentioned it. He was gone that rookie year with the cancer diagnosis. And then by the time he came back and started playing, I was already, getting ready to move back to New York at that point. So I never covered him, but, just following his career, he had moments where he would flash. He was in a very crowded wide receiver room there. Same could be said about the receiver room. He found himself in Philly. And the reality is this: give credit to Tyler Johnson, give credit to the guys who were out there Sunday without Garrett, without Josh Reynolds. But if, Mechie could show anything on the Jets, he's going to get an opportunity to play because they just don't have a lot of guys. So I like the move because you knew Carter wasn't going to be here. You got a draft pick swap, so you do improve your draft positioning, even if it's a late round pick. And these are the type of swings the Jets should be, looking to do given the state of the roster and given where the season's at. Like Mechie on a 1-17 gets a chance to play. If you find the diamond in the rough there, great. If not, no harm, no foul. It doesn't cost you long term with your cap or anything like that going forward.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it's great that they're getting a young guy that was supposed to be a first-round pick. I think he blew out his knee, and then he dropped to the second round. He's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of upside, but it just has not lived up to it. Crowded wide receiver room. Now it's an open wide receiver room that he's definitely going to get an opportunity to play. Matt, your thoughts, initial reactions when you saw that trade come through yesterday?
Yeah, I think it's a win-win for both the player and the Jets, right? Like Michael Carter was a really good Jet, was a part of two good defenses in 22 and 23. Unfortunately, the injuries seem to take a toll on him, and he doesn't look like the same player anymore. And the Jets already found his replacement in Jarvis Brownlee, who's been playing better this year. The writing was kind of on the wall there. I'm not surprised that they traded him. And in return, the Jets get a flyer on a wide receiver who's still young, was clearly talented enough to go early in the draft. Unfortunately, again, like you guys mentioned, with the leukemia diagnosis and with the injury, has had a slow start to his career. If it works, great. That's a bonus. If not, well, you gave it a shot. His rookie deal expires at the end of this year. You can move on. No harm, no foul. But I think, like I said, this is a good deal for both sides.
Yeah, the Jets should definitely be looking to add pieces. And I think that's one of the things about the deadline that not a lot of people are really considering. Now, I'm not saying the Jets should be buyers and go after big pieces and trade for like win now guys, but I think that Darren Muge and Aaron Glenn are going to look around the trade market continuously this weekend and find guys like a Jarvis Brownlee Jr., like a John Mechie, young guys on rosters that they want to fit because they've only had one offseason to find their type of pieces, right? And this is a new regime that's trying to get their type of players. You saw the trade for Phillips, the trade for Briggs, trade for Brownlee. I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets trade for players, even by shipping off some more draft picks, late pick swaps. Could you see that as a possibility, Matt? Or do you think they're going to be more selling? And this isn't just buying for this season, it's more buying players that they can build with for the future, for 2026 and beyond.
Yeah, if there's a deal to be had where they could do something similar, where it's like a pick swap and a player swap, then I would say yes. But I don't think this is, going to be a spot where they're trading draft capital for a specific player. But that's a different, situation. And, if it's someone who's young, maybe has some controllable years left, that's a little bit of a different story. But I'm not expecting the Jets to trade any serious capital for, an individual player, only in a swap kind of scenario like this past one.
And we're seeing a lot of reports around, the two big names that are circulating trade rumors are Breece Hall and Quinnen Williams. Jake, where are you at on those two players and your predictions? Will one of them, both of them, none of them be traded by Tuesday's deadline?
I don't think they're going to trade Breece. I don't think they're going to trade Quinnen or Jermaine. I think the name to watch is Quincy because he's a free agent at the end of the year. And what can you maybe get for him? Do the Niners missing Fred Warner throw you a 5th round pick for Quincy? Then maybe they would do it. But I don't think we're going to get a big deal. I said yesterday morning on my show that I think the name to watch is Michael Carter. If I was betting on any player to be traded, it'd be him. And that's happened. So maybe you get like a random Allen Lazard for like a 7th round pick swap somewhere. But I think at this point, I'm not expecting major trades by the Jets. I think their quote unquote big move, if we want to call it that, was yesterday with Carter.
So when it comes to the Breece Hall situation, if they do not trade him, that means he is also a pending free agent. Do you think the Jets are going to put a franchise tag on him, or are they going to get a new contract? Because if they do not trade him, then they better have a plan to keep him, because the last thing you want is to not trade him and then he walks in free agency. So what do you think the plan is for that, Matt, if the Jets are not going to trade Breece?
Yeah, I would extend him if that's the case. I don't know, 2 for 23, something like that, a little bit more than what the franchise tag would be over 2 years. And if you don't trade him, I think the argument you would make for re-signing him would be to try to make life easy for your next young quarterback. It's, not really a secret. The Jets are going to be looking to draft a quarterback in the 1st round in 2026. They have a good offensive line. They have a good wide receiver one. You have Mason Taylor. There's some pieces here offensively. But if you want to keep this run game together, like Braylon Allen's going to be coming back from injury next year. Isaiah Davis is still on his rookie deal. And if you keep Breece Hall, I think you're putting your young quarterback in a position where he could be successful.
Yeah, and I mean, how about Brees finally stepping up? Like, do you guys think he does have that? Because when we drafted him and what we saw in his rookie season, I don't know about you guys, but we all were on cloud nine. Brees is going to be our top 3 running back in the league, and then he tears his ACL. Never really lived up to that. Do you still think he has that potential in him? Because my thing about Brees is that he needs volume, he needs opportunities, and for some reason the Jets are reluctant to give him that. Sunday he got that opportunity, and I think a lot of that has to do with himself stepping up. He went to the coaches and said, if Garrett's not playing, I want the ball, and if we lose, I want to go down swinging. I freaking love that mindset. Like, what do you think is the reason why Brees has not been breaking out to be a top-tier running back this season? Is it more opportunities? Because there's games where he's not looking great, the offense not looking great, and there's games where he balls out. Like, is he someone you want to invest in long-term? Jake, your thoughts of the future of Brees if he is here long-term? Do you think he still has that potential to be the guy?
I think he's still a damn good player. Yeah. I mean, Braylon Allen coming off surgery now. What's he going to be? Isaiah Davis, he looks good, but is he ready to be an every down running back? I just think you don't want to make the mistake you made with Sam Darnold years ago, where you drafted him and you never put him in the right spot, where he had enough good players around him. At the bare minimum, we know Brees Hall is a good football player. You have the franchise tag. Put that on him if you can't get a deal done. But as long as Brees says, like, he wants to be here, I wouldn't get rid of him. What are you getting for Brees? Like, if someone offers me a second-round pick, a desperate team, fine. Then I understand. But I can't trade Brees Hall for a 4th or a 5th, which is what's reportedly, the asking price or that the Jets are getting for him. I would keep him, find a way to make him here for whoever the quarterback is next year, because he's a good football player.
Yeah, I mean, trading him away for a 5th would be a slap in the face, an absolute slap in the face. And I'm team build around good players. And some people are like, oh, well, you're not doing anything this year, so you might as well get something for him. And you guys stink, might as well. But it's more about the 2026 season and beyond that I'm looking at. It's not just about this year. And if you are drafting a quarterback early next year in the draft, and then he goes into a team with, now you just have Garrett Wilson. Okay, maybe I'll give Mason Taylor his credit. He looks like he's becoming something. But we have 2 real playmakers on this team, and if you give one away, then what are we here with? So I'm definitely agreeing with you guys. Brees Hall is a player you want to build around, especially when Aaron Glenn is trying to build an identity about grit, running the football, and being a smash mouth type of offense. It starts on the ground with Brees Hall. So it seems like we're all in agreement. Now, with the Quinnen Williams situation, the latest report I saw from Jordan Schultz says that the Jets are listening. So what type of package do you think you would be comfortable with? Like, if Quinnen gets traded, what type of package do you need to see in order to justify it, Matt? Is it a 1st or is it even a 2nd? Like, because apparently the Jets are open to listen, and if there's an offer that blows them away, they would consider it.
Yeah, for a 2nd, I would say no. I think I need a 1st and maybe a little bit more, which might be rich for some teams, which means that, the Jets would have to keep Quinnen, and I'm not going to be crying over that. I think he's a good player, but if it was like a 1st and a 3rd, a 1st and a 4th, yeah, I would probably move him for that. But I don't see a 2nd round pick being enough in return for a guy like Quinnen Williams to make it worthwhile.
I mean, he's not replaceable. He's a 3rd overall pick, top 5, top 8 interior defensive tackle. The defensive line takes a huge step back without him. The presence of him alone is everything. I mean, Jake, do you see a world where there's a team that even offers a 1st, like the Cowboys, that's desperate?
I'd be surprised. Now, if I'm a team that is weighing whether or not Quinnen Williams can put him over the top, I would personally be willing to offer a late one. I just don't think teams do that for a guy who doesn't get a ton of sacks. So I think that's the debate, right? Like, like the guys who usually get 1st round picks all sack the quarterback. I think if the Jets, though, waited to the offseason, if they wanted to consider dealing Quinnen, they'd get more teams involved, and maybe they would be able to then get that late 1st round pick we're looking for, or at least a 1 and something, or a 2 and a 3, something along those lines. I would not, though, trade Quinnen now, and I don't think the Jets are going to.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe a team is going to, blow the Jets away with an offer. So I agree there. Now, when it comes to the Jets after the bye, like, what's your expectations? What are you looking for in the rest of the season? Because we want to see growth. We want to see progression. We want to see something to start believing in this regime, because that's what Jets fans are starving for, is belief and confidence in this actual regime. They have a taste of victory. And according to Aaron Glenn and some of these players, they said it only take one to break through. Could this be the breakthrough, Matt? Or is this just going to be one win and the Jets spiral back to what we've seen for the first 7 games and they finish off the season 1-16? What's your expectation after the bye?
Yeah, I really hope not. I hope they, even if they get to 4 wins at the end of the year, I think that would be enough where I'm going, all right, like they had a better second half of the year, and hopefully there's some things that are promising from this coaching staff. But it really starts with the game against the Browns out of the bye. That's a big game, right? Like you're at home, you're a favorite at home, playing an offense, maybe the only offense worse than yours in the NFL in the Cleveland Browns. So I get it. They have a really strong defense, and it's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but can you come out of the bye and win a game at home against a team that's comparable to you? That would be another test for me for this coaching staff.
Big test I have is I'm looking ahead to that Patriots game. After the Browns, the Jets are on the road Thursday Night Football against New England. The Patriots are easily the better team, but boy, oh boy, do I want to go into New England and pull off an upset more than anything, man. Oh gosh, that would really just boost my confidence with this organization more than anything. If they could do that, will it happen? Probably not. But hey, you never know. Jake, your expectations, what are you looking for after the bye? What do you want to see from this team to start believing that we got the right guys in charge?
I think winning has got to be the biggest thing, right? I mean, but I do think the game against the Browns right after the bye is a great litmus test for the Jets. Do you guys know what the Jets' record is after the bye week over the last 9 years?
It's like 1-8 is my guess.
1-8, great guess.
Oh, wow.
And that one win was the ugliest game ever. I was at it against the Giants in 2023. They were lucky to win that game. Tommy DeVito came in because Tyrod got hurt, couldn't complete a pass. So that's why the Jets stole that one. They've been brutal in that spot. So let's see how Glenn can handle 1, coming off a win, 2, having time to prepare, and 3, you're at home against a team that's in your weight class. Like the Browns are a 2-win team. They might have the worst quarterback and overall roster in the game against you could argue. So I really want to see this team go out there and win that game, look competent in prime time on a short week against New England, and we go from there. But they got to win some games, man. They can't just finish with 2 or 3 wins now. And we're like, we feel great going forward. Like they got to show us something. They were horrible the first 7 weeks of the year. Like not like for like Jet standards, like for any team historically. That was some of the worst football we've ever seen. They didn't score a first half touchdown from week 1 until this past game. We got to see real improvement, and I hope we do, because the last thing we need is them losing an ugly 17-10 game to the Browns in a rainy game at MetLife.
Oh, please don't make it rainy. Then I really feel like we're going to lose. But nah, I agree. Now, when it comes to some things around this team that you saw Sunday that gets you excited from the roster, personnel, players, what are some positives, Matt, that you are really hanging your hat on outside of the players we already talked about, like Justin Fields' performance? Anything that not just looked good in that game, but you're excited to see hopefully develop into real progression at the end of the season?
Yeah, the offensive line, the young players, Joe Tippmann, Ormond Membu, Olu Fashanu, they all had really good games. And I get it, it was against a bad defense, but you don't control who's in front of you. You still have to do your job, and they did that. They didn't allow a single pressure, the 2 tackles. So I want to see the continued growth from them. I think Olu's been up and down. I don't think he's been as bad as maybe some are making it out to be at points, but he's still only 15 starts into his NFL career. So in the second half, I think I'm looking for growth from him, and just continued success from Armand Membu, and feeling good about your bookend tackles for the next few years is a really good thing. We just talked about the Jets drafting a young quarterback. What's better than having a young left tackle and young right tackle to pair with them?
I couldn't agree more, man. The offensive line looks so good, and they got to continue that progression. They've been inconsistent. They've looked good, bad, dominant against the Bengals. Now, the only 2 pieces on that offensive line that are not really committed here long-term is Myers and Simpson. And then you have AVT, also a free agent. I mean, I wonder what their philosophy is going to be. Do you think that they're going to look to extend one of those guys? Are they going to look to give AVT a 1-year prove-it deal with a good backup plan? Like, what do you think the plan should be at offensive line in the offseason regarding those 2 guys? Because you got Membu, Tippmann, and Fashanu still on the rookie deals, but those 2 guys are pending free agents. What do you think the plan's going to be there, Jake?
It's going to be fascinating to see how they approach the guards, right? You nailed it. AVT, I wouldn't be against bringing back on a 1-year prove-it deal, but I don't know, what if the Jets will do it. It feels like Simpson could be a guy they let walk, and they could find a left guard, and they could bring back Myers to be, the center again. I think he's been fine in that role. They also could, bring in some people in the draft if they want to invest. I would keep the one of either Simpson or AVT on a prove-it deal, because I want some continuity. Everything the Jets should be doing should be geared towards putting whoever the rookie is they draft in the best possible position to have a shot. Because if they fail that quarterback, we have no hope, and we're going to continue to set the franchise back and never end this playoff drought. So if they choose to keep both Simpson and AVT, I'm not necessarily against that either. It all comes down to what the money they want and the allocation of resources for the rest of the team.
Yeah, I would definitely consider. I'm team give AVT a 1-year prove-it deal with a really good backup plan. And luckily, the Jets had a good backup plan this year. They had Myers ready to go to slide right into center and Tippmann over to right guard. Without that signing, we'd be in really bad situations right now. And the Jets offensive line has been healthy all season after the AVT injury. So there's a lot of positives around this football team after 1 week, but there's also a lot of negatives that's really hung this Jets football team into a 1-7 season. So only time will tell. We shall see what happens over the trade deadline, which is over the weekend to Tuesday. We're going to wrap up the show here on the Jets Roundtable. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're live Thursdays at 3 p.m. EST. Next time we'll talk to you guys is previewing the Jets-Browns game and go over more of the trades that happen potentially. Anything you guys want to say to the people? We got TD Finn's talk going to be losing his mind tonight for Thursday Night Football. I cannot wait to watch that. Front row seats, you know that. But Jake, anything you want to say before we get out of here, my man?
Jets have a win, and they can't lose this week. Nobody's got it better than us, baby.
Pop the bottles. Matt, how about you?
Yeah, enjoy a week where you don't have to stress about Jets football. I'm just going to be parked on my couch watching Red Zone until my eyeballs fall out. I can't wait.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the Jets Roundtable. Don't forget to subscribe here, and I'll catch you guys later. I'm out. Peace out, everybody.